All right, well, it looks like the racers are about to start here. Looks like I'm gonna have to
just
add.
started.
I'm gonna have to add some time to Dragoons.
UA hasn't started yet, right?
Give me a moment.
Sure.
Okay, both of their timers right now are synced at 22, 23, 24. And just as I say that, we lose the stream for a moment. That's actually still pretty close to synced. Alright, well here we are. We got a Blaster Master match for you today. It's between ShiningDragoon and UraniumAnchor. So this is a pretty notable match for a couple of reasons. I think this is ShiningDragoon's last match of the round robin phase of the tournament. He's done, I think, all of his other races by this point. And this is UraniumAnchor's Is his last one? Okay.
Yep.
So I thought. And this is UraniumAnchor's first race of the tournament. So it's a last and a first here. We also have two immensely experienced players for us.
Yeah, I was just watching UraniumAnchor practice. I've never actually seen him play before, but I know he's good. I don't know how much he's practiced lately, but he was still putting up sub 33 times, which would beat almost every, a lot of the players in the tournament. But Dragoon obviously is one of the top 3 or so in the tournament. So, do you know if he's up on the latest strategies or whether he primarily played the North American version?
He primarily has played the North American version, and he has practiced this game a lot in the past, but it's been all North American version stuff, even up through his most recent run at AGDQ. He was quite well practiced for that, but it was all still North American version, not using the extra death warps, and I don't think doing either of the skips, because back at the time there was not a good setup known for the second skip, and there was nothing at all known about the first skip.
There was the more dangerous version of the second skip, right?
I think that yes, there was, and I think that at the time there still wasn't even. I'm trying to remember, like back in January, did we know about the first skip? I think we might have.
Scav obviously pulled off one of the skips. It's unfortunate that we don't remember exactly what he did because it was such
I know
a
what he did. I just don't know what we knew about. He did only the second version. He didn't do the first part of the skip.
So it was only the second part.
Oh yeah.
I mean, regardless, it was sort of a seminal moment in Blaster Master racing history. It was probably a lot of the fans here remember that moment and sort of got excited about it and maybe took up spectating because of that.
Right. Yeah, it was hopefully a good experience for everyone who watched it, because I think it was a really exciting race. It was certainly fun being part of it. But yeah, UraniumAnchor almost got second in that. No one was expecting to beat ShiningDragoon. This time he was head and shoulders above. Well, no, that's not true. Scavenger, I think, was expecting to beat ShiningDragoon. I personally was not expecting to beat ShiningDragoon. But yeah, it was really a big fight for second as far as I was concerned, and UA, and we both essentially tied for it.
So you came in second, though? I'm trying to recall.
I did, but by like a fraction of a second.
Maybe because his timer was set 0.001 seconds behind.
Sure, we'll say that that's why it was. But yeah, anyway, the The race we have here today, it's going to be a series of races, best 2 out of 3. And in it, UraniumAnchor is going to have to hopefully be on top of his game, because ShiningDragoon has been playing really well in all of these races. He hasn't won every race, but he's won every match so far. Every best 2 out of 3 races he's won. So he's certainly the guy to beat. At this point in the tournament, he's going to be one of the hardest players to beat. But UraniumAnchor has the most experience out of anyone who's playing the game right now. There's no one who's been running Blaster Master as long as UraniumAnchor has. So we'll see if that decade of experience pays off for him.
I think we probably have to place Dragoon as a favorite, maybe not by much, but because we don't know what to expect as far as the skips. Even the Area 5 boss, the Crab boss, I'm not so sure he knows that it's 8 frames now as opposed to 1. And I think he was told maybe 15-20 minutes ago. So I wonder whether that's going to affect how he handles it.
Well, he certainly has been paying attention to these tournaments, and he's aware of how the skips work on the J version. So, or how the crab skip works on the J version. So I think that he'll probably be prepared for it. I mean, it only got easier. If anything, I'm wondering how his reliability is going to be on the Area 7 skip. I'm not sure he's even doing the first Area 7 skip. I think he's only going to go for the second one.
In practice, about a half hour ago, he did not attempt the first, and on the second he soft locked, but I think it was just a silly mistake. I'm sure that that's easily correctable for him.
Yeah, I think so too. He certainly can do it. And right now we've got a neck-and-neck race here. It is exactly tied. They were both even coming out of the boss. I believe Dragoon went in there slightly ahead of UA, so he somehow picked up a little bit of time in that boss dungeon. At this point, they are neck-and-neck.
We would expect that in the beginning before there are any of the newer strategies from the Japanese version, right? I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
Everything's been identical up to this point, except for the reduced lag, a little bit less lag to deal with.
Which benefits them both equally, though.
Sure, yep. Except it benefits whoever is most used to playing with that category or that version of the game.
True. Yep, exactly synced.
That's right, both going through this vertical room where we get to use some missiles. They're going to be using mostly the same strats here. I'd say this area has not changed all that much in recent times. This area, Area 2, it's all been... Areas 1, 2, and 3 have all been done pretty much the same. You may see some differences once we start to get to Area 5. You'll start to see some... If UA hasn't updated his route and Dragoon is using the current route, then we'll see some small differences in the way they do the rooms starting then, but...
Right.
Ooh, Dragoon falling down there, that puts him behind, UA catching up a bit.
Yeah, that's all that it took for this. What's your opinion on those vertical rooms on the head bump to control, sort of a safety strat to not get hit by those little bombs?
I mean, you can do it. It's not too bad. You're not going to lose a race because you did that, to be honest.
Well, I'm afraid that Dragoon's going to lose this race because he took that dive that took 1 second off of his time. So
I would hope that it's going to be that close. That would be great. Wouldn't it be great if we had a race that close?
We've had some good ones, but that would be pretty awesome right now, too.
Yeah,
especially for those who stayed up for this thing.
Yeah, exactly. They will get rewarded for their patience.
Yeah. And there's no Blaster Master race at GDQ this year?
At SGDQ, there's not. I would think that HGDQ, it may be enough of a cooldown time that we could get it in again.
Right.
So, still tied here, just right neck and neck. There's no way to tell who's going to be ahead when they get to the boss dungeon.
Maybe we'll see. No. Maybe we'll see a lead open up after photophage. Perhaps one of them will, leave one. And, but we'll see. Soon enough.
Is this the closest individual race time of the tournament so far? We have had some other races that were this close for, large stretches of time. We have had ones that are about equivalent to this, to be honest. But this is still really rare. Most of the races were not at this close at this point in the game or at any point in the game.
No, I would agree. I mean, it's been about, what, 10 minutes, and we've had almost identical races from them, and
Yep.
their movements, and of course, like you said, we sort of expect that in the first 3 levels where it's all execution, as we've said. But interesting just how similar, like usually there are little differences. Somebody handles something a little differently, but not this time.
Right, and you sure notice the small differences when it's this close.
Yeah.
But let's see, this is not going to be small differences in the photophage fight, because photophage is either going to go perfectly or awfully. That's just how it goes. So staying clean, both of them, no spare ones yet. UA is really making short work of this thing. Boss is down on UA's screen slightly faster than Dragoon. They both had an ideal fight. They did not have any spilled enemies there. None of them got away from them. That was very important.
Unlike Mother Brain, it doesn't seem like there's any RNG in photophage. Is there, in fact?
Oh, there is. The direction that the squares move can sometimes be random, and when they shoot is random as well, or at least I don't know what the pattern is for it. No, I don't think anyone's planning on knowing their projectile RNG. But yeah, there is a bit. It's just that if you keep it under control, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you don't even get to see what the RNG is because you finish them off so quickly.
Right, because you know where they're going to spawn, and you can. It only takes 4 grenade hits, so you can deliver those 4 hits before the boss gets a chance to get away from you.
Does release those little. Oh no! He releases those little like Atari 2600 shots at you though. Those little shiny things.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gets those off usually.
Right, the little like spinny, sparkly things. He shoots those, and he has some triple laser shots sometimes too. Really, the projectile RNG doesn't really matter to the speed of your boss fight, but it will affect the amount of damage that you take, assuming you're not going out of your way to try to dodge the projectile, which most of us don't. Most of us are just trying to chase that thing down and don't even care if we get hit because you can't let it get away from you.
Yeah. It's all part of the plan. But all right, now the hover farm.
Right, yeah, the hover farm where we're not going to have an even race anymore. ShiningDragoon getting unfairly good luck, I would say, right there. And is already ready to start the climb. UA is hoping for a drop. He gets 2 at the last minute and manages to grab them both without taking a death.
Not bad for Dragoon. I mean, yeah, not bad also. So
not bad for either of them. But yeah, UraniumAnchor had a bit worse of a time there. Not his fault. It's RNG.
Yep. I had it accidentally overlaid over UraniumAnchor's thing, so I was looking at Dragoon on speed gaming, so I was like, oh, that's pretty good, but I thought it was UraniumAnchor, but he actually struggled a little bit more.
Yeah, UA got nothing for. I think he got a drop and then nothing for a while, and then he got his last 2 at once. But
yeah,
he's doing fine. He's a room behind here, but there's a lot of things that could happen. This is time that he could make up just by small execution improvements over what Dragoon does. Really, it's not the kind of thing where we need a mistake from Dragoon for him to catch up. Right now with these screen wraps, I mean, just depending on how quickly you get these, but Dragoon seems to get it pretty cleanly.
Well, again, as we've said, I feel like these screen wraps are easier than the others because there's a barrier stopping you from swimming through the tunnel. And if you're just holding left as you drop, it's an automatic.
Yeah, just something about the swimming, I think, makes them a little awkward, even though they're supposed to be easier in terms of the frame window. The swimming in general is so awkward that I don't think these are the easiest ones, personally.
Yeah, whenever I say that I find that one easier, everyone's like, no, that's the hardest one. But I think maybe the ice ones are the easiest, like if you not that you attempt it in this run.
Yeah, that you do it, yeah.
Yeah. But like the ice, you have a lot of leeway in when you can turn.
That's true, yeah. You can use your character's momentum to carry you a little bit.
And especially on the ones where you, if you wanted to completely screen wrap, you do it 6 times so that you're on the left side of the screen or the right side of the screen from wherever you started. Those especially, you don't have to worry so much about keeping an eye on where Jason is. So, much easier on the ice if only we could find a way to use that.
Right. Alright, so both these guys, UA got through that room, the laggy room, with a little bit more lag than I think we would have liked, but that's the hard room to get right. Probably the hardest room in this area if you really want to do lag reduction strats.
And it can slow to a crawl.
Yeah, there's a spot where it's essentially like dropping as many frames as it's showing, really. It's just so, it seems like that at least. Yeah, so Dragoon gets his death, and UA also looks like he's going to go for a death here, and they both had one death after the hover, so this is their last life they're on. I saw earlier in practice UA missed one of the crab glitches.
Yeah.
And had to actually fight the crab boss. I would like to see that in one of these runs. I'd like to see someone successfully fight the crab boss in one of these races, but...
Well, you'll certainly see somebody die to the crab boss at some point.
We have seen that. We have, I think, twice seen someone get into the crab room and die to it, and then do the crab glitch successfully. But... yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like... UA actually knows how to fight this thing the correct way and win, so that would be cool to see.
But the time lost is what? 10 seconds?
Well, it depends. Technically, if you have the best possible luck at the crab boss, like if it doesn't move at all during your grenade bosses, which can happen, then it is faster not to do the crab glitch. It's faster to fight that thing naturally.
Everybody should learn to do it that way.
Right. The problem is your chances of getting that RNG are, 1 in 100 kind of deal. It's pretty rare that you get a crab that doesn't move at all. Point where it would have been faster to not do the glitch.
Right. Well, I remember when you guys were running the North American version, like people would try to get the one frame glitch more than once because that would still save time over the alternative, right?
Well, I mean, we try to, yeah, sure. I mean, the average crab fight is not anywhere close to
like the perfect crab fight, yeah.
Yeah, well, the perfect crab fight, but I mean the average crab fight, even like several standard deviations in the better direction than average, is still going to be end up being slower than just doing the crab glitch, right?
Now, no, if I was just thinking that if Dragoon wanted to be a really savvy, tournament huckster, he can pretty much determine or help determine who he brings with him to the final 8, right?
I suppose so, because he does have it locked in, so he could throw the match just to muddy the waters a little bit, I suppose.
I don't know that he's cutthroat enough. He's a little too casual about it. But
all right, he's not out for blood, I guess. Maybe he's just confident that he can win this without having to resort to shenanigans.
Hey,
right,
if it's part of the rules, it's allowed.
It's allowed. Well, Dragoon goes for the leap of faith and makes it. He's on a great pace right here. Really very few things having gone wrong for him in this run. I think he slowed down. I think he lost a little time in Area 2, but other than that, everything's been going great in this. I don't know if this is PB pace for him, but I sure haven't seen a hover farm like that out of most runs that I've watched, so it's hard to beat that. UA makes the jump. He's all good. A little worried about that.
I don't know whether you were here for Scab's race, what was it, 2 days ago, where he was on PB pace until the first Area 7 skip?
Right, yes, I did see that. Yeah, that sucked that he lost it.
Didn't even realize. I was here commentating, and he didn't have his splits up, so I had no idea, but yeah, I mean, it explained his actions afterward, not that it, cost him the race or anything, obviously.
Alright, well, we got pause strats from Dragoon on these blocks here, and he gets only one row of ice blocks that he has to break to get across. That's good. You just have to position yourself right to get that, but it's a good thing. Saves you a little time. Takes the death in room 2. We'll see him take some damage at the spikes in this room, and then he'll take another death in room 4 if I know Dragoon.
Shadows Panther, it's not possible to do it in Sophia, the door wrap.
Nope, only works with Jason. Oh, let's see how UA does this room. UA's old school runner, so he probably has some different strats. He doesn't do the pause strat. Does what I used to do.
What is the pause strat?
You pause, you shoot some of the blocks, and then pause, and then shoot some more of the blocks. The pause strat just refreshes the blocks while your tank is in the middle of jumping, so it respawns a little bit higher up.
In the overworld, I'm sorry.
In the overworld, sure.
Yeah.
It's technically slower because of the pause, it's technically slower. If you were to do both strats perfectly, the pause would be slower. But like I've said before, I've not seen a single person do the non-pause strat faster than a well-executed pause strat. So that's why I'm always going to keep doing the pause strat.
I think I've asked you, but you think that's just the time it takes to position Sophia's gun because you have to turn left, right, to shoot up at the blocks to the right?
What do you mean? What about
Okay,
it?
the gun, Sophia's gun, if it's on the left, if you're facing left, the gun is on the right when you push up.
Right, so you have to turn around to shoot upwards.
Exactly.
But
And
you're
that's
saying,
probably where the quarter of a second is lost, you think?
I think it's from the pausing. If you pause, it's slower. That's why people who want to do it as task-like as possible don't do it.
No, I mean why you think that nobody's done it efficiently to
Oh, no, because
optimal
they keep
efficiency.
bumping into blocks. I mean,
Ah,
if you shot the minimum number of blocks, it would be faster, but no one does that.
got it.
So we're making our way back here. Dragoon takes the death in Area 4 to get back to Area 1. Back change. So now he is, I would say, about 15 seconds ahead of UraniumAnchor, because UA, he burns off his lives here in this room. Most people do it in the next room just because there's no enemies around to bug you. You may run into some situations where you can't suicide with Jason because you keep running into enemies. So people usually do it in the room right here that he's leaving.
Is it the preferred death warp to kill Jason by jumping off the huge cliff of blocks in Area 6, or?
That's okay. That
I mean,
really
I've seen,
depends.
like,
People
50
have done it.
people doing it, you know?
People have done it. That depends. I'm not gonna. I haven't tested this, so I'm not gonna render judgment on that.
He's, UA's not the only one who's done it, though, so I'm curious whether they know something or whether they just aren't up to date.
Wait, you mean taking the death where?
When they leave the Area 6 dungeon and they dive off of the blocks that we were just talking about.
The breakable block. Oh, that's what
strat.
you're talking about. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there. Like, if you're at full health, I feel like it's basically borderline. Like, it could go either way. That's why I don't want to commit one way or the other on that one.
Right.
I mean, what you want to do is not have any. You don't want to have full health after the boss, basically.
So you could just take the spike death.
So just take the spike death, and then there's no dispute about what's the best. If you have full health, or if you have an extra life, and then you're going to have full health after you burn off your first life, then I don't know. Maybe you could go outside, but I just stick with the spikes.
Yeah, whatever's comfortable. Now here's where it's going to get interesting. Because, not that Dragoon can guarantee himself a victory, but someone of Dragoon's skill level, if he does both skips, and we're assuming that UA is not going to do the first skip at the very least.
Right. I would be amazingly surprised if UA did the first skip. Dragoon also, we have not seen doing the first skip in the races. I can't remember. He may have done it in one of them, but for the most part, we've been seeing him not do the first skip. So I wouldn't expect to see him do it here, which he's not. And at this point, he's far enough ahead that technically he doesn't need to do the second skip.
Yeah,
but he might still do it. Yeah. Because, like, if he didn't do the second skip and UA did, I think they would be close, but Dragoon would still be ahead. But maybe he doesn't want to waste all of his lead if he's comfortable enough doing this skip. At this point, UA could, if he did know both skips, he could do them and catch up to Dragoon, probably. But
I'd be really surprised if he did the first skip.
No, I don't think he has practiced that.
Yeah.
So it may not be a smart idea to pull out a move that you've not practiced. So
yeah, why not?
Yeah, he's not doing the first skip.
No time like the present. You might not recall, but in his first match, I think it was 0-9. Dragoon played 0-9, and he actually had to continue on the lava skips because he died 3 times in the room. Right. Now, so, he also does the diagonal run over the lava, and I know a lot of people do it and don't seem to be worried about it, but it gives me a little anxiety every time I see it.
Yep. BR-Man, to answer your question, there are not really safety strats so much as just like there are certain skips that you can do or you can not do them depending on how comfortable you feel with it or how far ahead you are. So I guess skipping skips that are dangerous, not doing skips that are dangerous would be a safety strat. But that's a big time loss. It's more of just a matter of how you're gonna, budget the time that you're ahead of your opponent. UA right now doing a skip that this would, or ShiningDragoon rather, doing a skip
ShiningDragoon, yeah.
that he would be skipping if he was farther ahead of UA. If he was like another 30 seconds or more ahead of UA, he could just skip this entirely and not do any of this, and be of considerable less risk of soft locking.
In fairness, he hasn't really had anyone this close. It's usually been a big mistake that's done Dragoon in, you know, so
Yeah.
he's not always in a position where he feels like he has to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, he takes the death here. That's intentional right there. He wants to get his health refilled because he's going to do a bunch of lava boosts. And let's see if he gets the first two. He does. Those are usually the hardest ones. UA, meanwhile, has hopped out of the tank, and now he is beginning to do the screen wraps to do this skip. Dragoon gets the third lava skip, okay.
So
Fourth
he'll
one
get
should
the
be
fourth.
free. Yeah, the fourth one's free. You just got to hold up. UA right now just working on getting that door turnaround. It's not free. I mean, it's the kind of thing where with a little bit of practice, you should be able to get it, 4 to 5 times.
What are you referring to? The second skip?
No. Well, just a regular door wrap of any kind.
Oh, I see.
You should be able to get it 4 or 5 times with a little practice, I would say, or better. Uh-oh, soft lock for UA. He died because, yeah, he's going to do a reset there. UA just soft locked, so it's pretty much over for him now.
Yep.
Because Dragoon is past the point where, I mean, I can't think of anything that would be so bad that UA could return to Area 7, beat it, and then catch up.
Not a good place to die.
Right. So, okay, what happened there? The reason why he reset is that even though I think he still had another life left, but the problem is that when you're doing these screen wraps, it shifts over the position where Jason enters the room. And when you die and respawn, it respawns Jason at the spot where he entered the room, which, because of all that shifting that we were doing for the door wraps, ended up shifting that position so it's inside a wall. So when you try to respawn from that death, it'll respawn you in a wall and you'll be stuck there good. So fortunately in the J version, when you hit the reset button, it brings you to the beginning of the game and it lets you keep all of the items that you had. You don't get to keep like your missiles, like your sub weapons and stuff, but you get to keep the ship parts that you picked up, which is the sequence items of the game. So all he has to do is return to Area 7 and finish what he started. He doesn't have to play the whole game again, but still, that's essentially a race-losing event right there.
And there's no way to draw the attention of that turret to take hits while you're in the wall?
I don't think... No, because the enemies... Yeah, so the thing is, even after you've wrapped the screen around, the enemy projectiles will still collide with the visual hitbox and not the actual physical hitbox. Although, after you've died and respawned, they're one and the same. Like, it resets the shifting. Right. So either way, you're inside the wall and the thing's not going to be able to...
Well,
no way to kill Jason.
I've played with it a little bit, and I've been, supposedly soft-locked inside of a wall, and I've gotten hit by sign flyers while in it, and they've killed me, but they've collided directly with me.
That's true. Sign flyers can go through the walls. Some enemies can go through walls, and some cannot. And enemy projectiles, there's no enemy projectiles that will go through walls.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. The sign flyers are one of the exceptions. They, because of just... I don't think there's any other enemies that do that, right?
No, so I just got lucky that I saw it.
You just got lucky that you're the one enemy in the game that'll do that.
Yeah. Now, dying at the end of Area 7's, very costly. It's the second most costly place in which you can die. Would you say that Area
Agreed.
3?
Yeah, 3
would be worse?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it is worse, but is that the only one that's worse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even Area 6 is not as bad as 7, I would think, to back to and get to the end of.
No, because you're traveling through more of Area 2.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more to travel through to get there.
Yeah. And looks... Dragoon is about to finish it up. He got through the Hellway with no problem whatsoever, so hopefully he's not wasting his good game right now. But
right.
He's at, a little over 29 minutes now, and he's going to definitely get sub 31 if he just keeps this up. He's got plenty of power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this game, this always reminds me of, like, the last level in Contra, and not just because it looks like an alien layer kind of thing, but because, like, if you ask a speedrunner, once you've gotten to that level, you're happy, you're done, the run is over, there's nothing that you're going to be worried about. And I feel like it's almost the case for a really experienced Blaster Master player when they reach level 8 here. Because this, compared to what you have to do everywhere else in the game, if you're comfortable with the Hellway, and you're comfortable with the final boss fight, and you're comfortable with the spike jump, then this is the easiest level by far. I mean, maybe, okay, level 1, fine. But other than that, this is the easiest level to speedrun, I think. Once you know the strats. And I know some people who die in that Hellway are going to hate me for...
Right, exactly.
Sorry. But, like, the longer you play the game, you'll eventually get to the point where you reach level 8 and you're like, fine, good, I'm glad that's out of the way. I didn't get knocked off the ceiling in level 3, and now the run's over.
And not for nothing, you know you've signed your own death warrant the next time you're in the Hellway, right?
Sure, I've just, jinxed myself.
Yeah, exactly.
UA again missed it. Yeah, and there he is. He's stuck. You see, look, he's stuck underneath his hover bar. That's where the game spawned him in the room because of all the screen wraps. And Dragoon swagging out the final boss here. All this is just the crab glitch, except done for this boss. This is what the crab glitch looks like if you do it here. Well, it's not even rubbing it in. Well, I mean, maybe it's for swag, but also this is a safer way. This is a safer way to fight this boss because he can't move and fight back. It's just slower, so we don't do this as like a first choice.
No, it's fun to watch too. I like seeing the eggshells, or whatever those are. Anybody else think that's a mushroom cloud instead of like the palace falling?
It sure is a weird looking palace. Yeah. Or like an alien ship perched atop a tower.
They're always so top heavy. Dragoon leaning back, enjoying the ending. Do you take that to be the top of the peak in Area 1 is where Jason is right now?
Maybe. I never really thought about it.
Well, I mean, it's definitely obviously in the hole in his backyard, but I mean, other than that.
Yeah, maybe. This is not, well, J version, we don't have to think of it as a hole in his back.
That's true. We also shouldn't call him Jason.
Sometimes the turret doesn't fire at all. Actually, I think, from what I'm told, the turret is on a cycle. It's on some sort of global timer. And if you just wait long enough, it'll go through the same process of being stationary and then spinning up and then shooting and then slowing down and being stationary.
But he's not going to get a shot in between the two platforms, right?
Well, you'll definitely get shot by the turret. Which, you're talking about the first turret in the room where you're doing part 2 of the Area 7 skip?
No, I mean, you'll definitely get hit by it if you don't soft lock. I'm saying, though, that from where he was...
You can do it without getting hit. If you're doing the 3 wrap, you can do it without getting hit by the turret.
Sure, no, I meant he was stuck in the wall there, so he was soft locked.
Oh, no, that kind of turret. No, you can't get hit there, no. There's nothing that'll hit you once.
Right. Right, you said that it wasn't going to hit him, so I just didn't know whether he was sitting there and waiting to get hit, but, or whether he was just conceding the game.
Yeah. I think he was probably typing in the IRC at that.
Got it. So they're going to start right away, or they're going to take a little break? UraniumAnchor's explaining what happened in chat right now.
Here, it was the final crawl. They're talking about the first crawl when you're going into the gun turret.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, is the final one that I couldn't even tell what it was that he got wrong there, but it was something about the final part of that.
Well, he was trapped in the wall, right? So it wasn't a pause error?
Trapped in the wall. Well, that's after he respawned. No, I think he... I'm not... Did he take too much damage from the turret, and that's why he died at the very end?
He didn't crawl off the platform so that he took more damage when he fell?
So is that what it was? He took too much damage, leading into it, and so that's why he died in the final part. That guy.
Yeah. What were they, about 30 seconds apart?
Yeah, they spread to about 30 seconds, I would say.
Yep. That's, I think, where we were thinking that they were 30 seconds apart. And, I mean, sorry to say, it probably wouldn't have mattered, as Dragoon was pretty flawless from that point forward. You know, so even had Uranium Anchor not soft locked, it would have been really. I don't know what he could have done to overtake him. I mean, Dragoon sped through Area 8. He made no mistakes. He got the lava boosts. He got the frog positioned properly. So it looks like if you're going to soft lock, that was the time to do it.
We're going to award 1 point here to ShiningDragoon. And there it is. And now Dragoon needs to win 1 more race if he wants to win this match. UA needs to win 2 more races. This is a best 2 out of 3.
More importantly, how have you been doing with the backgrounds?
They were somewhat on point.
I don't think I saw any complaints.
That's right.
So there must not have been any mistakes, because you know you're off by a second and they're on top of you.
Oh, they've been pretty good. Pretty tolerant, these guys. Pretty tolerant.
Such an inclusive community, the Blaster Master speedrunning community.
Well, here they go. Race 2. You're going to see, probably like last time, I bet you're going to see these guys pretty much neck and neck the whole way.
They're starting so far apart.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've probably got about 10 minutes of watching. You know, you can just pick one stream and just watch which one you want, because it's likely that the other one's doing the exact same thing. Trying to see if there are any minute differences between how they're running Area 1. But no, it just looks like... Is there some RNG as to where the enemy is, where the enemy placement is in the beginning?
Not really. The only RNG in the first room is... Well, I mean, what do you mean? Like the room 1?
No, the big cavern in Area 1. Which, now that I think about it, might be the biggest room in the game.
Like the one that these guys just left? Or
Yeah.
To enter this thing?
The one where the dungeon is underwater, but like, you know, starting the beginning of it.
Right. It's maybe not the biggest, but it's pretty big, I guess. Yes, there is RNG. So all the enemies will spawn in the same places. What the enemies do after they've spawned is random. For those golem things, they will jump. Or maybe if they jump and change directions, that's not really that predictable. The things that fly, they'll spawn always in the same place, and they're always triggered by the screen, by the edge of the screen. But the direction they go can be one of, I think, 4 possibilities. They'll go either, you know, northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast.
I've got UA about 3 seconds ahead.
I believe that's
Maybe
accurate.
2 seconds ahead. One or 2 seconds
we'll
ahead.
say
now.
2. They're
Yeah.
not quite. They're not perfectly synced on the stream here. They're close.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Given that, let's see, Dragoon's timer is like almost a second higher than UA's, so.
True.
So yeah, 2 to
Maybe
3
seconds.
2 to 3
Yeah.
seconds maybe.
I mean, I can actually tell which one's which by looking at the screens, which is better than last time.
All right, hold on, guys. I'm fixing it. I'll be right back. Just a second. Sorry about that. Should be fixed in just a moment.
Meanwhile, we have both of them climbing Area 2. Still looks like it's maintaining the lead. Yeah.
Pretty close. I
Yeah.
think this is we still saw them pretty much neck and neck at this point. I think we got up to the point where
I think they're almost
Dragoon.
dead even. Yeah, I've got them almost exactly the same as they're navigating the lava room. I'm trying to watch from speed gaming, but I keep buffering. I'm trying to fix it. Give me 1 second. Okay. Alright, so now I have them both in the room with the little spinners, and trying to see who's ahead now. I've got UA's timer about 2 seconds behind, and he is about 2 seconds behind Dragoon. So my guess is that they're exactly even as they're entering dungeon number 2.
Yeah, it looks like UA is maybe a second and a half behind.
Yeah, he might be a little... Yeah, he looks about even a second behind to me, but I think maybe you're 5 seconds ahead of me. And I'm looking to see, they're close enough, not as close as last time. I'm seeing if they do anything differently here in Dungeon 2. I don't know that we've mentioned yet the pausing as we walk through the doors, both on the overworld and through the dungeons, which is there to save some of the time in the transition of the screen. And Fiesel, when you have a chance, I think that you once told me how long over the course of a run, how much time is saved by doing the door transitions each time, or the door pauses. Sorry. Alright, now that they're doing the pause grenade trick. Again, I'm trying to get a handle on exactly who's ahead, but it's sort of too close for me to tell. Dragoon, again, yeah, maybe 2-3 seconds behind as they're both exiting. They're going to take the death here. Oh. Right, they're at Area 2, so they're both navigating Area 2 to get to Area 3. It's a short distance there. I don't know for what reason I thought they were at Area 3 for a second. Yeah, they're still in the same room, but now it looks like Dragoon's opened up a little bit of a lead.
Yeah, certainly. I'm gonna say about 10 seconds right now for Dragoon.
It looks a little less to me, but I
Maybe
trust
so.
you. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm estimating. Yeah, you're right. It is quite a bit less. It looked like it was a lot more as they're going through that room, but
Yeah, it did. Maybe UA picked up a second or two in the
oh yeah,
descent.
no, they're like 4 seconds apart. Yeah, 10 seconds. I was way off on that. They're 4 seconds apart.
It's alright. You were busy getting the screen transition ready.
What happened? Did we just lose Dragoon's stream?
I've still got it. Let me see. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, his stream just went down.
Oh, let's see what happens.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Well, hopefully it'll be back up in a second.
Yeah. Meanwhile, UA trying to deal with those caterpillars that are falling, and now he's...
Guess we can put...
Yeah, still nothing on Dragoons. Yep. UraniumAnchor using his missiles in that vertical room to take care of those guys that dropped the little bombs. Making his way towards the end of the third... he's midway through the third area, but he's going to come into the long winding room, the one where he has to climb and then go back down. But right now, dealing with more caterpillars. Scav is saying 3 seconds. But again, it is a good race. Assuming
wow,
that
nothing drop? Sorry, I was looking at... a weird thing happened on UA's screen. Both of the stealing trappers opened up and nothing came out.
Well, that's what we would wish happened every time.
Yeah, right? Whatever he did, do that every time. That's great.
Yeah, I just saw that myself. That was funny. Look, yeah, poor guys. Unless something, horrible has happened to Dragoon, hopefully they're still in, very similar positions.
See if I can bring it up on my other computer. I don't know why it's not. Are you watching his stream directly, or trying to at least?
I'm trying to, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's not just me.
No.
So it'll come back when it comes back.
Yeah,
It'll be up as soon as it automatically refreshes every 2 seconds here. So we'll know in a second when he comes back.
Right.
Within 2 seconds, whenever he comes back. But meanwhile, we get to watch UA, who's an old hand at this. He knows how to do this area. There's a lot of stuff to memorize in this area, but he clearly knows what he's doing. I'm watching his missile strats here, and I guess I do things a little different than what he does, but it seems to be working for him. He didn't have to slow down there. He's got plenty of health.
And judging from where Dragoon is on his screen, would you say UA is about 3 minutes ahead now?
Right, and counting, right?
Yeah. Maybe this is a new strat that Dragoon is employing.
Yes, the offline racing strat. But UA, okay, he's taking damage here strategically, trying to take damage from certain enemies to get his hit points down. So it only takes him 1 hit from this final enemy to kill him. Let's see if he's done it. He's comes in with some extra. See, his health there is 1, and he had to take, couldn't tell, either 2 or 3 hits from that gray thing to die. Should be able to do it in 1.
Yeah, not optimal.
Not optimal, but you know what? It's also not optimal to die too early, and we've seen a couple of really good players do that.
Yeah, certainly given the alternative.
Yeah, so it'll happen.
Yeah, but that's always what it's about with speedrunning, like risk reward.
Sure, yeah. I mean, if you're not making mistakes, that means you're not playing as risky as you could be, really.
Yeah.
So UA had a little bit of had some problems a little bit, but he managed to clean it up. Yeah, that lower left corner one, it stuck there. He knew to go over and face the one on the right, and then come back, and the one on the left respawned for him, so he got to finish it off. That's good, just not getting tripped up by the order going out of whack there. That's important.
Yeah, he handled it. Big mystery is what's going on with Dragoon. He might be completing the game right now.
Well, yeah, the fact is, he's got to be focused on the race, for one thing. You can't be, good, his stream just came back up. Yeah, you can't be spending too much time fiddling around with your stream setup.
Exactly.
And now we get a little snapshot of where he is. Spoilers, he's dead even with UraniumAnchor.
I don't see it yet. I'm still waiting for my ad to finish. Long one. There we go. Both having killed Jason off, starting the hover farm. Now I've got Dragoon's timer about 3 seconds ahead of UraniumAnchor's, so that would imply that UraniumAnchor's a little bit ahead. They're both heading to the hover farm right now. Let's see who gets lucky. UA, nothing on the first pass. Dragoon's got his first H once he decides to jump and get it. There might be a second one there, for all we can tell. There's 2. There's 3. UA gets the third one also. So maybe Dragoon made up about a second there, but they're both doing the climb to the top of the mountain in Area 1, where they'll head to Area 4 for a moment, and then go straight on to 5 by walking through the door. Yeah, as Pup said, it was funny because just as Dragoon re-emerged, he died. Both are heading to the third room of Area 4, where they're going to skip the entire stage by walking through the room that normally requires the item that you get from the Area 4 boss, which is the key. But they're going to just perform a scream rap like they do a bunch of other times in the run, and Dragoon entering Area 5. UA entering Area 5. I'd still probably say I have UraniumAnchor a little bit ahead, but really not enough to make any sort of difference. Both performing the screen wrap, pausing at the right time. As anyone knows, if you're a little impatient unpausing after doing the 3 screen wraps in Area 5, you could find yourself stuck in the wall. But, not a problem for the veteran players. I feel like Dragoon is a little better navigating those tight waterways, but again, not enough to make any sort of difference. I'd say it's 1 or 2 seconds. Timer's looking synced up. So now we have Dragoon in the lead. Looks like there's some visual problems in Dragoon's stream, but
Yeah, his capture card's having some issues, but
yeah,
okay.
but I mean nothing that looks like what my TV was like in the 80s when I used to play Blaster Master and I had to like fix the wire hanger on the antenna.
Okay, so pretty close here. This is certainly closer than it was at this point in the race last time.
UA a little bit behind, but again, nothing that both despawned the turret. Had to take Death a little further into the room. That might have been a place where a little time could have been made up or gained.
UA's doing a stationary pause trick there. He's not going to try walking down to the bottom and up again. He's just going to go based on audio cue only. Looks like he is pretty early for it, so he's doing a fair bit of pausing. That's going to put him a bit behind Dragoon there. Losing a little time on him. Dragoon already finished with that fight as UA begins it. Let's see if that's going to...
10 seconds or so then.
If that's going to do it. Yeah. Both took the death, so they were on their last life. That's good. They wanted to do a quick death here. Both of them. Yeah, so now I'm going to say 10 seconds. That's my guess now. Entering Area 6, the ice level. This level has ice physics.
So do you like this level, Feasel? What would you say?
I do. I like it. Good, fun level. Ice physics, obviously in any game, are not what you want, but despite that, it's actually got some fun platforming. It's got some cool rooms in it. I like vertical rooms in games like this. I like vertical rooms in platformers, and this one I think has the best vertical rooms of all the other levels.
They're definitely different. I feel like some of the level design gets a little repetitive, I wouldn't say that this game has bad level design, or maybe it's even a little above average. I wouldn't say it ranks up there level design wise, creativity wise with like say Mario 3 or some of the best games, in terms of level design, but some of them do get repetitive, I feel. But the ice ones do have little differences in configuration.
Yeah, the ice is probably more interesting than the average level in this, I think.
It's also visually arresting.
Yeah, and this level right here that these guys are both going through, this room right here, rather, I think is a pretty fun one. Try to do optimally. This whole string of rooms actually is a bunch of good ones. I mean, essentially all the rooms in this level are pretty darn good. Yeah, Dragoon makes the leap of faith there. We'll see. UraniumAnchor is going to go for it. He always goes for it. Yeah. Referring to this right here, this jump that you just saw him do. If he had missed that jump, he would have fallen all the way back down to the bottom.
Which we've seen happen many times.
Oh, it's happened quite a bit in these races, quite a bit. And it's the kind of thing where you could take a slower route and avoid that, but people just don't like to do it, and I don't blame them.
The eternal argument.
Well, yeah, people don't agree on it, but it's one of those things.
Now, what do you think overall of the level design in this game? Now that now that I'm thinking about it a little bit, I think that the game's charms don't lie in that sort of arena. So, in general, though, do you think that it's inspired and like it fits the challenge as well, or there's just going back to the well too many times with some of the challenges?
I mean, I think that, like most NES games, if they hadn't been on way too short of a deadline, they would have done much better with designing the levels. Like, they put in the machinery to be doing a lot of cool stuff and ended up barely using most. So they probably could have made a game that was a lot better with the same engine, but this is what we
Right.
got. And I don't think it's bad. It's just a lot of untapped potential.
Well, they did make a better game with this engine called Fester's Quest, right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of those games where I would expect, if there were more ROM hacks of it, I would expect them to be than the original.
Yeah. Like
But-
I've said a bunch of times, I feel like there's an amazing game hidden inside a merely great game.
Yep, and I think that's usually the case. To be honest, there's way too many NES games that are like that. These guys both taken their second death in Room
Yep.
4. Nope, never mind. That was UraniumAnchor's first death in
That was
Room
his
4.
first, huh? So he's playing
at
it
a
safe.
big disadvantage here. He's going to have to take a really slow death after this boss.
Yeah.
Well, Dragoon coming into the boss, he's not only apparently ahead of UraniumAnchor, he's even, in actuality, even further ahead of UraniumAnchor because he's already taken both of his deaths. UA's got to spend, I'm going to guess, at least 8 seconds to... Oh, zombie for Dragoon? See that? He corrected. He knew how to pause and unpause.
Yeah.
The right timing to try to
Right.
bust out of the zombie. So UraniumAnchor is, well, almost caught up to him on the screen here, but...
He
Goon...
lost about 3
where's he
seconds on the
going?
zombie. The
What are you
UraniumAnchor
doing?
zombies.
So the funny thing happened there. UA actually has an extra life here, so he needs to... I don't agree with him taking that death. He should have taken the first death on the spikes for sure.
Yeah.
Or, I mean... Well... I don't know, like...
Dragoon.
I don't know. I feel like the death on the spikes is the faster both times around. I really think it is, but I don't know for sure.
Well, I thought it was as well, but like then I see people much better than me doing, the leap off the top of the wall there.
They
and
both
I
did
wonder,
it there that time, which was interesting. I don't like Dragoon had such low health that I don't know why he did that. Like UA, I understand he had the extra life that he had to get rid of, but it's weird.
Well, Dragoon lost 2 seconds of his lead futzing with getting in and out of Sophia accidentally. So,
I guess.
however long it took the animation, and then he ran a little bit. So I think he might have lost 2 or 3 seconds there.
Huh.
And that's 30% of a 10-second lead. So
I guess so, but no amount of lead is going to make a difference if the RNG is not in your favor in the hover grind. That's what's happening now. These guys need 3 hover drops. You can only... Wait, what am I watching?
probably
in
the
the wrong-
last race.
Am I in the wrong spot?
Don't worry about it. You're
I'm
in the
in
right
wrong
room.
spot.
Wrong,
No,
wrong
I'm totally
time,
wrong.
that's all. You're just
Sorry, guys.
you were just behind because Dragoon's stream was 6 minutes behind. That's all.
Right. Well, that's not what... Yeah, sure. We'll say that's what it is.
Look, man, take it. All right.
Okay, never mind the hover grind. So anyway...
Coming up on Photophage.
Right, exactly.
But look, they do want 1 hover.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, Dragoon picked up... Wow, that was silly. Okay, so Dragoon picked up the flashing hover, and it looks like... Did UraniumAnchor as well? Yeah, it looks like he did. They couldn't have gotten those all from random drops. They must have both grabbed the flashing hover.
They both picked the flashing one. Yeah.
Okay.
They both went into one of the side dungeons and just got one of the flashing ones in there.
All right. Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah. It's a new lose 2-minute strat. Oh, pretty close.
I
UA is a little
suppose.
bit behind.
I'm still saying 10 seconds on
10
him.
seconds, yeah, but at this point in the game, it's a mistake away. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Dragoon does the first skip. He can afford not to because he knows that
He knows that
UA
UA doesn't do it. Yeah, and in fact, he also knows that UA isn't particularly comfortable with the second skip, so
Yeah.
that's gonna factor into his judgment as well here.
Yep, a little amateur psychology at work.
Yeah, maybe. Although, because UA has gotten it. I mean, I saw him do it in practice. I know he can do it.
Sure.
So Dragoon wouldn't want to lose because he's betting that UA is not going to go for it, and then he goes for it and makes it. That
Yep.
would certainly put UA ahead. So probably
Maybe
Dragoon's going to do it.
UA sandbagging it, pretending he doesn't know what to do.
Right? He's gonna. That's his plan. Throw the first race, and make it look like you don't know how to do the skips, and then bam.
Right. I'm
But how do
telling you,
win
you
the
guys
third
aren't
race?
cutthroat enough.
How do you win the third race after he's already seen that you're playing him, though?
You tell him that it was an accident, that you got it in the second race,
Right.
and then you do the same thing.
All right.
You only need to fool him one time. And look, I
Wolves.
think in chat we have a Son of Orpheus sighting. It's been a little while. He's been hunkering down. He's been in the bunker, practicing the new strats.
Yep, and one of the top players of this game currently.
Oh yeah, fourth in the world, right?
I'm not sure, but that sounds about right. Somewhere in
Yeah.
that vicinity. So here we go. Dragoon does not go for the skip. Look at that. He is. That's interesting because if UA decides to do it, I don't know that UA, even if he's watching Dragoon's stream, isn't with the stream delay on Twitch. I don't know if he's going to know whether Dragoon did it or not. Looks like UA does not even stop. He doesn't even hesitate there, so he's not going for it as well.
Yeah.
And Dragoon guessed correctly. Dragoon had to guess whether UA was going to do that, and based on what he saw in the previous race, even though UraniumAnchor was doing it in practice, Dragoon knew that he wasn't going to do it in race number 2 here.
I find
no
it
longer
strange. You know, I
confident.
feel like definitely Dragoon has not done the first skip more times than he has. I mean,
Absolutely, in these races, absolutely.
yeah, but not doing the second skip.
Yep, that's new. Well, we've also seen him do that when he was far enough ahead. He knows to play frugally. He's not trying to,
Right.
beat his PB with every race. I mean, some people in their racing still care about a PB as opposed to just trying to beat the other person, so they'll go for some strats that they don't need to.
I think he also missed the wallpaper. He wanted to see that puke
So I want to see
green.
that green wallpaper.
Yeah, that
Nice.
disgusting vomit green. That
Well, everyone made it through the lava skips. Well, UA still got 2 more to do.
Yep.
And he got the third one. Fourth one should be fine. Not a big surprise. These guys are both really, really well versed at this, and those skips have not changed in the 10 years that UA's been running this game. So he certainly knows how to do that. There's nothing new there. Dragoon, he's a little high up right now. I think you generally want to be a little lower than that for this frog fight, but it doesn't matter. He did get the spot.
Right. I wouldn't question anything he does anyway.
Hey, if it works for him, he can do whatever
Yeah.
he likes. UA also with the pause, and he unpauses at the right time. He's standing a little high. Oh no, he was right on the spot. Good.
If UA's been running this for 10 years now, what was the sort of history of the speed run here? Like, how did it start, and like what strats? Was it
I
only
do
this
not
year
know.
when it was blown open?
It was really within the last, I'd say, year and a half that people have really been going hardcore at it. It's mostly just been UA, and then a couple other players within recent years have done some good times on it. I know Dugong gave some competition to UA for a while, and then like within, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, there were a couple other people who started doing some serious runs.
What's going on UA screen?
He's dead, but wait, what is going on UA screen?
Pause at some point in soft lock?
Wait,
Did he pause on the same screen where when he dies? Isn't it
when
if you
you-
pause at the
yeah.
moment that it's going to transition to the continue screen?
yeah, that's right. We saw that in. Wait, was it in one of these races or was it just a practice? I thought we saw this happen to somebody.
This is the first time I've seen it, but it could have happened in one of the races I missed. But what a way to go. Jeez.
Gosh, that's the end here for him. You
Yeah,
know,
so
though,
Dragoon's gonna go
well,
on to take
he's
it
got to
then.
reset. If he's going to reset, he has to come back here. That's the rules for soft locking.
Yep.
Weird. That
Oh.
sucks.
So what
Sucks.
is it that not that causes it, but is it just like the desire to hit the continue as quickly as
Yeah,
possible?
that's what it is, right? You're just mashing that start button so you can get going on the continue. And you started a little too early.
Well, this is the first time I've seen this actually. I've never actually seen this happen before. I've heard about
Whoa.
it.
Dragoon just did a really cool little turnaround jump to go through those spikes. I don't know if you saw that, but that was the way he did it there is pretty subtle, but that's different than what most people do. Even the fast strat, that's faster than the fast strat, what he did.
Yeah.
He's gonna, oh, now he's got a really slow death he's got to figure out what to do with. Yeah, he's gonna go back into this spike room. Yeah, I guess that's probably the right play. He could have tried to get damage boost off that bullet coming down from the ceiling, but
Whatever he wants to do right now is the right play. I mean,
well, I mean, at this point, yeah, he's gonna win unless he soft locks. He could soft lock.
it's irrelevant, really.
Well, given that UA quit, yes. I mean, if he had soft locked and UA continued, then that's a story, but
Well, UA still would have had to gone through level 7, and if Dragoon
Yeah.
soft locked, he only had to go through level 8.
yeah, that's true.
And not a great hellway for Dragoon. I mean, but you know, for me, not a great hellway is continuing 6 times on it, and for him, it's losing 4 bars of health. So
Right, but the nice thing is health in this area does not really matter. Once you get through the hellway, that's the spot where you can die, but if you're really familiar with this last room that he's going through, well, this technically the second last room, if you're really familiar with this, you're not going to take any damage. And
yeah, Scav
Dragoon
said
has done it plenty.
Scav said in his post-game interview the other day that he came in here with 0 health, and it was like he just sped through it, and I was like, you don't even care, and he was
Yeah,
like,
you
no.
don't need to take damage. There's the route, doing the speedrun route in that room, if you do it right, you're not going to get hit.
Yeah.
There are ways that you can incorporate some minor damage boosts, like save some real small amounts of time, but very rarely do we see anyone do that. Gav, I've seen sometimes do it. For the most part, 0 damage there.
So what are we calling for Dragoon? We're gonna say
I don't know how to estimate.
31:15,
Maybe.
31:20.
No, it's gotta be more than that. There's at least 30 seconds of just shooting this dude. I'll say 31:29. There you go.
31:29. Yeah, I'll say. Well, I'm a little behind you, so 31. I was gonna say 31:25 now, but yeah, I can see 29.
Underbid me by 1 second.
Whoa.
31:28. No, we'll see. Man, Dragoon is getting whipped.
What's he? I don't understand.
Both of us were wrong. He wasn't. I don't know why he was fighting that guy that way.
Is it just because he knows that?
Yeah, I think
he
it
can
is.
do whatever.
I know that I think it's because he knows he's won and he can always do this strat for complete safety. So he was willing to screw around a little bit on that boss.
I just think he's the bad boy of the tournament and likes to show off the little things, like watching the boss try to whip him.
Yeah. The bad boy of the tournament. We'll tell him that in the post-race interview. We'll ask him about his bad boy status.
Who's gonna take this bad boy down? Someone's got to shut him up. Yep, they're saying it's swag in the comments. And he did soft lock doing this in his first race. Precipitating the rule change.
Right.
I've got UA's time at 28:44, so maybe he actually won the race.
And world recorded at the same time.
Jeez, don't tell Scav.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting race.
Hey, welcome. That was an interesting race. Were you expecting to have your victory at the end there? So without having to really fight it out, it looked like you were like even going into Area 7, you were in danger of being passed up.
So what I understand just happened is he paused it before the continue, and then it didn't show up ever.
Mm-hmm.
But even before that, you forewent doing both of the skips in Area 7. Did you have...
Oh, yeah.
Was there any particular reason?
Yeah, because we said we weren't going to do it.
Oh.
Oh, you guys both talked about it?
Yeah.
So between you talked about it because you both attempted it in the first try.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, we didn't know. We were a little surprised because we were thinking, oh shoot, if Dragoon doesn't do the skip and UA does. But okay, you already.
He hasn't had too much practice doing the skip, so I'm like, just might as well just both not go for it. Make a fair race.
So have you decided not to do the skip ever again this tournament, or?
Oh no, of course.
Okay, that's good. So some of the people in your bracket, well, it doesn't matter who's in your group anymore, right?
Nah,
You've
I'm done.
definitely moved on to the final 8.
Yeah, and I've played everyone anyway, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you're done now, right?
And
Yeah,
yeah,
congrats.
so my internet went out, making me kind of not pay attention very much and not do some deaths properly, and yeah, that was interesting.
Well, when your stream came back, you were literally in the same exact spot as UA.
Yeah.
You know,
And then I
so-
died halfway through the room before the Area 3 boss because I wasn't killing myself at first, and then I decided to start trying to kill myself, and then I forgot that I was going to kill myself again.
Nice.
I killed myself halfway through the room because I was at like 2 life. I'm like, just go for it.
Eh.
Right, and then what were you doing at the boss fight at the very end of the game? What was going on there?
I was going to go to the bottom to leave the room like I always do, because after soft locking like that, I have to do it every single run now. Whether I'm winning or losing, I just have to do it.
Got to keep the fans interested, right? They
And
know what
then
the
I-
fans want.
And then I didn't leave the room properly, so I got confused myself. And then I'm like, I don't feel like doing the bottom corner strat. I'm just going to fight the boss and see what happens. And I almost beat him. And then he moved awkwardly, and I couldn't get into a position where it wouldn't diagonal me.
Did you really almost beat him? Because I feel like, you know better than me, but you were only fighting him for like 15 seconds.
The shield was gone, so that means he's like only has 25% health left, I think.
Huh?
Really? I didn't know. I didn't even realize.
I
this
didn't know
fight
that either.
changed.
Like,
How did I not
first
notice
the
that?
shield's all normal, and then the shield looks like it like changes its design a little bit. Then the shield is gone, and then you win.
That's really true? I was
Yeah.
not going to say anything because I felt a little stupid, but then
guess
when
so.
Cecil said it, I'm like,
Yeah, no, I didn't know. Well, because I've mostly practiced fighting him at the top of the screen,
he's
and
in
you
the
can't
wall.
see anything anyway. So
Yeah, the
Yeah.
shield actually, the design on the shield changes for the first marker, then the shield disappears, and then you win. So maybe you have 33% health left or something.
UA corroborating what you're saying.
yeah, you were saying it is divided into thirds.
Yep.
Interesting. Wow, all the stuff I don't know.
Jeez, you gotta incorporate that into the next spiel when you
But-
commentate.
Sure, I'll have
As
something
you
to talk
saw,
about.
though, sometimes that boss can just walk the same pattern over and over again, and you can just sit there attacking it, and you don't even have to be in the bottom right corner, and it just kind of kills itself without trying.
Yeah.
But then it can easily decide that it feels like attacking again, and actually attack you. And if you're not react good enough or know where you're going, then you just kind of lose.
Too bad you can't drop the house on it like in Fester's Quest.
So many houses dropped on that. Oh yeah, I still need to make a new highlight for that.
I had never seen it until today. You did say that it happened though.
Yeah?
So now you just sit back and wait to see who's gonna go with you into the tournament.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how it works? Is it matched up by group, or is it probably shouldn't be, right? Or is it just by seed once you get there?
I have
In
no idea.
this, We talking about
The
the
8
seeds
who
game?
advanced.
When we get to the tournament part, I have no idea.
when you get to it's going to be, yeah. I mean, it is going to be seeded, sort of. I mean, it'll be seeded based on who is ahead of whom. Whoever is the top in the bracket is going to get a better seeding than the second to the top in the bracket.
Right.
So possibility exists though that two people from one of the groups will play each other immediately in the tournament?
Immediately?
In the first match of the tournament.
I don't.
Probably not, though.
I'm trying to think of what's gonna happen in the middle. Like maybe for like the way the differential seeding is, the higher seeded person gets placed against people who are of lower seeds.
Right.
But at one of the point, like in the middle of the seed ranking, that's when the people who are closer to each other play each other. I haven't actually like mapped out what the possibilities will look like. I mean, there's an algorithm for doing the seeding, but I haven't actually looked at what the example is, so I couldn't tell you for sure if it's possible for two people from the same group to play each other in the first round.
Right.
Well,
And
yeah.
no, go ahead.
I have no idea how this tournament's set up, so whatever.
You were just yawning. I've heard conflicting reports about it is 2 out of 3 again when we're in the tournament portion.
Oh yeah,
Pretty sure.
it'll be 2 out of 3 in all of them.
I didn't think it made sense otherwise, but I had heard that a few people thought that it. Good to clarify.
And do we have a losers bracket as well, or is it just going to be one shot you're out?
No losers bracket. It's just once and you're out.
Okay.
That'll be exciting. Hopefully, we're gonna get some Group D races soon.
In Uranium, we'll get some more practice, and yeah,
Probably won't take them long to catch up.
Had some like vet issues and stuff like that, and capture card and stupid OBS issues.
Yeah, we noticed your capture card was starting to flip out a little bit.
It's just a mess.
We may be getting UA to come in here and join us in the Discord. I just gave him the invite. Let's see if he gets in here. Pick his brain a little bit.
So you said you, for some reason, that when you first got me back, I was really pixelated or something? Or no, not pixelated.
I didn't say that.
FPS was really bad or something?
There were sort of like interference waves, almost. It looked like.
Oh yeah, I don't think
Like
it had to
these
do with your
stripes.
internet dropping, but at some point in the later half of your run, there was like a lot of screen flickering that we just assumed to be a. You?
We've got UA.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta unmute him. Oh, never mind, he's himself muted. Can't unmute him.
It's possible that he also needs to set up his the proper junk with
There he
Testing.
is. Hello.
Okay. All right.
There
I've
we
never
go.
used Discord before, so I was like looking for the button.
Yep.
Mission
Cool.
accomplished.
There you go. So your first race of the tournament here.
Yeah, it's been super busy like the last couple of months. I haven't been able to do like there was some stuff I wanted to do for GDQ to get some extra stuff submitted besides my usual stuff, but I just did not have time, so I'm gonna have to put it off until AGDQ.
Right. So you were pretty well practiced at the time AGDQ came around. Have you done much Blaster Master since January?
Nope, I had up until last night. I hadn't even opened up OBS because it still had the 4 days remain text label that I was using before AGDQ.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I had to. I think it was like 3 days before my first race that I actually started doing Blaster Master again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
that happens.
I only had time to do I meant to do like a couple practice runs last night, and then it was like 7 o'clock, and I fell asleep, and I woke up and it was midnight. It's like, okay, well, I have to be at work at 7, but I just slept for 5 hours, so I think I can get some streaming in before I have to go back to sleep. And then I managed to, I think I soft locked twice in two different places, and like the time was like 48 minutes or something god awful like that.
Yeah.
You're talking about
Yes.
in practice because
Yeah, this
today
was in
you had-
practice. This was yesterday, and then I had a couple of warm-up runs right before we did these races. I'm super mad that I managed to soft lock it both times, but I
Second
didn't
one
even.
was hard luck.
That second one sucked. We have seen that happen. I think that happened to somebody else in one of the races. I can't remember who it was now.
I didn't even know that was a thing. To be honest, like
I've seen it only one time before ever, and I didn't know it was a thing either until then.
So what you did was you paused right before the continue came up, and then you couldn't get to the continue, right?
Right? Yeah, somebody was telling me it's frame perfect.
Yeah, I've done that before. Usually after crab.
You should be proud. It was frame perfect, and you got it.
Frame perfect trick.
I hate frame perfect tricks though.
That's what they're all the harder. So you should be even prouder of yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
that can happen. That can happen.
I had never seen it before,
also,
but I saw you practicing beforehand. You're not, you guys were very close. You're not so far off, and now you've got a little time before your next match, right? So
Yeah.
you'll have the skips down, and it won't be a problem anymore.
I honestly do not know what to expect from anybody else in my group.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you knew any of these other players, if you had seen any of these other guys play.
No, I mean, I recognize Zero Noin's name because I know he's done a bunch of... I know he's discovered some things about this game, but I honestly don't know like how good he is. I haven't looked...
He's pretty good.
The only loss that I've had.
Really? Okay, well that's encouraging, maybe.
Well, I game overed in Area 7, and I didn't do the skip this next time, and
Okay.
he was getting both skips every single run, so he obviously beat me that one.
Right.
No, but he's solid anyway. I mean, yeah, you would have had him if not for the 3 deaths in the lava. But
4 deaths.
4.
4 deaths in the lava. But he was racing a solid race, right? He was getting sub 34 and maybe sub 33s also.
Yeah, he was doing really well.
Yeah, and it was his first time ever, in a race situation.
This is like first stream.
It was his first stream ever.
Yeah, it was the first
his
time
race.
the first time he ever had a computer. I think he just got his first computer that day.
That's
Probably.
right. He just learned to type, just learned to talk, brand new.
Yeah, he was
He,
just
like, popped
born
out of the womb and we
seconds
gave him a
ago.
controller. Right.
Yeah, so it was really amazing, all things considered.
Not but
Yeah.
yet.
But to answer your
Some of
question,
that was
he's
true.
He's decent.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say to answer the question, succinctly, he's pretty damn good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you actually have anything scheduled at the moment?
Right now,
I
nothing currently. You guys were the only thing on the schedule.
Oh yeah.
I told Mr. Pup that I wanted to do this Sunday, but we haven't nailed down a precise time. It'll probably be sometime in the evening.
Okay.
It looks like they're scrambling in chat to get a couple of races going. I think Zarnax was talking, and I know that Substyly's been trying to get in touch with Big John for
Well, I think
weeks now.
he's gotten in touch with him like once or twice. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, let's see.
Well,
So Substyly saying Zarnax Saturday.
Neat.
Uh,
Okay, cool.
I can probably talk to Big John for you, Sub. If I actually see him stream. I don't know.
Facilitator, excellent.
All some of these people need is a little bit of prodding.
Well, I
He's
mean,
one of the
Big
big
John,
names. I mean,
he just learned an entirely new speedrun right now. He might have been slightly busier. Like,
Oh, which one?
that good. He learned the Kirby's Dream Course, which I rented from Blockbuster a couple times. I love that game.
So more golf, you mean?
It
More golf.
is a golf game, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I remember seeing it. So
yep.
yeah,
It's not been in a GDQ yet. It seems like something
Nope,
that
no golf in GDQ. That's a rule.
I feel like that. I feel like Dream Course has been offered at least once, but I don't remember by who or when.
No, it's definitely an amusing game. Most mini golf games are actually fairly decent.
Yeah, you got all the power-ups to... Like, you got the UFO to run around the map. The task is hilarious at some point.
Yeah, I remember seeing the task for that.
Like, just doing these... Because the task is even better, because it's not even for speed. The task is to try to get as many hole-in-ones as possible. And then speed comes second. So, you just these random shots in some maps that you would never think you would be able to hole-in-one, and suddenly, like, the task just like a frickin' like 360 no scopes into it. But anyway, so Blaster Master.
It's a game.
Right now, Dragoon, your stream is doing the same things visually that it was before. If you
So,
weren't seeing what we were seeing.
well, I turned off my game now.
Really? Oh, I've still got it on my TV screen. UA's is off.
Yeah, mine's been
Oh.
off.
Yours is gone.
I rage quit.
I'll look at my. It's either your capture or my capture. So I'll look at my specific recording to see if I can notice anything. But it might have been just a issue for when OBS kind of returned itself on after being trying to reconnect over and over again.
Yeah, ever since I started streaming with my laptop, my Dazzle, like, it loses the audio every time. Every time I start the stream, I have to fix the audio or it won't come back.
And that's a Dazzle problem and a Diamond problem.
Yeah.
In general. If you use Amarex, sometimes that'll use Amarex audio and stuff like that. Sometimes that will fix it, so you never have to worry about that ever again. But obviously, Amarex doesn't work for everybody, so.
Yeah, I've tried 5 different versions of Amarex, and I've never been able to get it to stream for more than like half an hour at a time. For the video signal just freezes inexplicably.
Yeah, that can happen.
Never.
It hasn't happened to me, but it can happen.
I had that happen with Virtual Dub once, ever, through like hours and hours and hours of streaming, and yet Amarex just doesn't want to work.
So are you actually going to use Live Split now, or are you still going to try to work with your Python?
I want to see if I can get Live Split to interface with my server at least, but because since it's open source, which probably won't be too hard, but I probably won't fix the Python script in IRC because it's kind of poorly written, honestly.
Well, if there's nothing else with a schedule and all that, does anyone else have anything to talk about?
Nope.
No, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to just get UA's take on his future opponents that he's going to play here. But as we said, we don't really. It's going to be a big mystery to him. We've actually seen. Have you watched many of these races?
I haven't watched any of them yet. I haven't had time.
Oh, so you haven't even seen your other opponents in action?
No.
Might be worth seeing what strats they go for and which ones they don't. I mean, we already said that 0-9 is going to go for both Area 7 skips every time.
Right.
That's just the way he rolls.
I guess I'm I'm concerned about that first Area 7 skip because it's RNG, right?
No.
There's a way you can make it not RNG.
Oh, okay. That's new then.
There is completely avoid RNG on it, right?
You can't completely avoid it because it's not like whether you get it or not. It's not RNG. It's whether
you're talking
the wall
about the
follower. Yeah, whether that wall follower goes around the wall, however many times, anywhere from 0 to infinity times. You don't know how long he's going to go before he finally decides to go off screen. So it could be slower, but it's not like you can't do the skip.
Okay. All right. That's different than how I understood it, but maybe it's changed since then?
There might be ways around that.
I think it has changed. Well, back in the day, being a couple of months ago, we were a bit dependent on that guy's movement, but now it's.
And there was still even a way then you could jump in a specific way and usually not get past it, but it was kind of specific movements you needed to do, and it was easy to mess up.
Okay, well, I'll have to look into that then, because maybe that was under the impression it was still RNG whether you got it at all, so...
Oh no, it's not. The only thing that you'll need to do differently is sometimes one of those wall followers will respawn in the middle of the air, and he'll just start spinning in the middle of the air, and it gets in the way of your jump, so you have to do a different method of that long drop. Rather than jumping off the platform and doing the long drop, you have to walk off of it and do the long drop.
Okay.
So slightly different way of setting it up, but still...
And my, I put 3 or 4 new videos into my little tutorial about the Area 7 skips. There's the pause strat to fix the spinner, there's the 3-wrap, 4-wrap, and then there's also another strat you can do that doesn't worry about RNG whatsoever.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
Which is my personal favorite strat, because it's the best strat. It's my strat and substrat.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think the first part of the skip is actually less complicated than the second part. Now that I know how it works, I think that there's fewer things you have to do right.
Not if you do it my way.
Not if you
Make
do it
it
your way.
hard.
Okay, good. You found a way to make it difficult. Great.
But faster.
Okay.
It's all about the speed, man.
Right. If you get used to the muscle memory of it's still a little bit more difficult, but it looks cooler. And that's what really matters.
Dragoon's races
But
always
I
look
really-
cool.
I really need to get some sleep though.
Now get the hell
Okay.
out of here.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks. Keep an eye on the schedule. Got it pointed in the chat. There's nothing really in it at this point in time, but if you keep watching the second link there that says upcoming matches, you'll see when they get posted, and you'll know when this is going to happen. You can also follow us on Twitter at Speed Gaming Show, and you will get, sometimes we tweet about when these matches are happening, sometimes we don't. But yeah, you can follow us there, and then follow the channel, and you can see when we go live, and that will tell you when these matches are going to happen as well. So that's it. Thanks for watching the streams. Thanks for watching the races. Make sure you follow these guys and thank them for these great races they put on today. Oh, we got the wrong runners command. I'll update that. Whoops.
All right. Take care, everyone. I'm going to
Bye,
get
guys.
to bed myself.
All right. Good night.
Take it easy.
Okay, well, that's it. Good night, everybody.